Hi, I'm Evi from Ballet Lovers blog. Today I'm talking to Valentino Zucchetti. You last danced the Espada in Don Quixote. I understand you had a horrific injury in the warm-up before the third act. Please tell me more about it.
Before the beginning of third act, which is the third act begins in the tavern scene and it starts straight away with my variation. About maybe 2-3 minutes before the curtains went up, I was warming up backstage and I just sprained my foot really badly and I broke all my ligaments. And when it happened, I straight away was like, okay, there is nobody here. It was 10 o'clock at night, there was nobody there to replace me. If I would have decided to step off stage, I probably would have held the show because they would have had to find someone and probably, the show would have had to carry on like 20-30 minutes late. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. I was in a lot of pain and I had like a small window where the foot, when you first sprain the foot, it doesn't swell up straight away. You have maybe like 15 minutes where your foot is sort of like just traumatized and slowly sort of like swells up, and I had that window, so I just decided to do it. I did the variation. It probably wasn't a good idea in terms of.
And it was painful.
It was very painful, but I also had a lot of adrenaline at the time, and I just didn't really think about it. What was really painful is that after I finished my variation, so the act carries on, and there is a part where the main pas de deux happens, and you sit down and you watch the pas de deux, and then the finale starts. Now those 10 minutes were extremely painful because then the foot started to swell up and I couldn't really move my foot very well, and I still had a little bit of dancing to do till the end of the act.
But you made it.
I made it. It was actually quite like everybody was like quite shocked that I managed to do that. But then after that, I was injured for over like 6 months.
Like 6 months. Oh,
yeah.
That was
yeah, because ligaments were out, and then it's very tricky to.
And the dancing made it even worse.
I'm pretty sure that made it worse. I'm pretty sure the doctor doesn't
like your decision.
They wouldn't have liked the idea of me spraining my foot and doing my solo straight after.
Please tell me more about the role of Espada. What is the challenge?
The challenge wasn't particularly technical in this case. I think it's important to capture the style that Carlos required, which was a much sort of heavier, more pedestrian, more authentic look of the character. And he's very good at explaining. He has like a swagger about him, and it is Spanish panache that characterizes Carlos, and he's tried to inject that in the production in every role. And especially in Espada, you have to be smoldering, you have to be confident, and I think that's kind of was more of a challenge other than the steps themselves. So I had to focus more on that.